I don't think we'll need any more than we have, but you never know, but I don't think so. It should be good. I see, are some people recovered from their wine tasting already? Weren't hungover all day?
Is the line dancing for women only, or is it men and women?
I have no idea. Didn't it already happen?
No, it's
Okay. Rabbi.
yeah, so that was my last message that I got insurance.
So yes, you're doing your job, your meetings, and then you have to right through it. Welcome back.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, but not, there's a couple things that not so literally.
So you took
wherever 51 ends.
All right, friends, we're going to go ahead and get started as people I know are filtering in. Huge mazel tov to Aaron and Amit Bornstein, who are becoming B'nai Mitzvah this weekend. Very exciting. Watch out for that cord. We're still on. Okay. And anyway, it's great to have you here. And we're going to go ahead and get started on page 1. Page 1 in the Siddur. Yedi nefesh ha'arachan mishochadecha el ritzonecha yarutz avdecha kemo hayom yishkachaveh el muhadarecha yeravdo yedidotecha minofetzu vechotam Adonai ziva olam nafshi cholat avatecha ana el arefana lam be'arolam zivecha az tichazek v'titrapek v'haytala simchat olam v'tikemuna rachamecha v'chuzana abenahu v'cha ki zekava Chavivi Alai, Etzukat Shlomecha, Tahireret Mikvodecha, Nagila Ben Yismecha Bach, Ma'ereo Kivamoed, Mechonenu Ki Me'olam. All right, we're gonna let the heavens rejoice and the earth be glad. Page 6. Yismehu Hashamayim, Yismehu Hashamayim, Yismehu Hashamayim, V'tageh haaretz, Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, U'melo, Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, U'melo. Let's go to page 12. Romemu Adonai Elohim, Enishtachamu Le'arkocho. Romemu Adonai Elohim, Enishtachamu Le'arkocho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Rabbeinu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Rabbeinu. Rabbeinu Adonai Eloheinu Enishtachamu All right, page 13. Mizmor LeDavid. Mizmor LeDavid, Alad Re'eli, Avul Adonai, Gavor Baos, Ay, Avul Adonai, Kevosh Shemo Yishkach, Avul Adonai, Aron Kodesh, Kol Adonai, Al candidates are already reflecting their personalities in the front row. Loving it. Absolutely loving it. All right, page 15, L'Charodi. Our custom is to do the first two and the last two stanzas. We'll change the tune between them. L'Charodi, Likrat, Yalalai, 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 B'nai Shabbat, Nekavela. L'Charodi, Likrat, Yalalai, 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 B'nai Shabbat, Nekavela. Shamor v'zachor v'timor echad, ish v'yanu echad yuchad, Adonai echad shalom tifrosi, v'em Adonai ta'aniti, Adonai v'emparti, v'nishtacha v'nagi la 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 L'Charodi, Likrat, Likrat, Kala, B'nai B'nai Shabbat, Nekavela. L'Charodi, Likrat, Likrat, Kala, B'nai B'nai Shabbat, Nekavela. We rise and face the entrance, welcoming the Shabbat bride. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam v'simcha u'v'tzola, toch emuneh al segula, boi kala, boi kala. L'Charodi, Likrat, Likrat, Kala, B'nai B'nai Shabbat, Nekavela. L'Charodi, Likrat, Likrat, Kala, B'nai B'nai Shabbat, Nekavela. And we say to any mourners in our midst, Hamakom Menachem Etchem B'tok Shrei B'nai Tzion V'Yerushalayim. May God comfort you with all the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. We may be seated. We are on page 19. Mizmor Shir Yom HaShabbat, Tov Lehodot LeAdonai, U'lezamer L'Shimcha Elyon, U'lezamer L'Shimcha Elyon, Le'hagid Ba'boker Hasema, Ve'emunat Kabalelo, Alei Asur Ve'alei Navel, Alei Higayot Ve'hinon. Mizmor Shir Yom HaShabbat, Tov Lehodot LeAdonai, U'lezamer L'Shimcha Elyon, U'lezamer L'Shimcha Elyon. We continue on our own, pages 19 and 20. Tzadik atar Yifra, K'erez Vanon Nizkeh, Shetuli Beveit Adon Nasro, Eloheinu Yafrihu, Oyenu Beseva, Deshenim Merananim, Yehu Lekha, Yit Yashar, Yashar Adonai, Turi Velo Lavesh Adonai Ozit Azar, Aftikum Tevel Ba'otimo, Nachum Kisacha Me'az Lamata, V'suderot Adonai Nasuderot Olam, Yisuderot Ot Yam. Mikol Mayim, Mayim Rabim Adirim, Mishpereyam, Adir Gamaron, Adonai. rise briefly for the Baruch Hu, page 22. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Adonai Borach Leolam Va'ed. We may be seated. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bivaro ma'ariv ha'aravim. Yom v'layla, golek mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Mavir yom u'mevin layla, mavdil ben yom u'vein layla. Adonai tzvaot shemo, el chai v'kayam tamid, lo leinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv ha'aravim. Page 25. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, bechol levavecha, ubechol nafshecha, ubechol meodecha, ve'hayu advarim ha'ele, asher adochi mitzarecha, hayom alevavecha, v'shinatan levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha beitecha, u'lechlecha b'derech, u'shokrecha u'bekumecha, u'shartan le'ol al yadecha, ve'ayu l'totafot beinecha, u'ktatam al mezuzot beitecha, u'visharecha. Continue on around 27 through 29. תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לעיניכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמן. page 30. We're about to be on page 32. This may seem an odd time to do this introduction, but I'm going to forget if I don't do it. So I'd like to especially welcome Leon Morris here, Rabbi Leon Morris, who is the head of the Pardes Yeshiva Institution of Jewish Learning in Jerusalem. And they, if you don't know about Pardes, it's incredible. They do just amazing teaching there. And I would say they truly run the gamut of, Orthodox, conservative, reform, renewal, reconstructionists, and others who attend there. It's a tremendous challenge to see.
What does Pardes mean?
Pardes means the secret garden.
Oh, right.
Okay, and anyway, so he runs this yeshiva, and I've known him since rabbinical school days, but he can appeal to everybody. He also probably knows every tune ever invented, except this one he will not know, because this is the Murray Davis Mi Kamocha, and we're the only ones that do it, because it was written by one of our members. So if you feel like, wait, I don't know that one, there's a real reason you don't. All right, page 32. Malchut Tov Ratzon Kibelehem, Moshe ben Yisrael Chanashura B'Simcha Rabah, V'Yamru Chulam. Mi Chamocha, Va'elim Adonai, Mi Chamocha, Nedara Kodesh, Norah Tehillah. Sukkot Shlomecha, Baruch Atah Adonai, Haporei Sukkot Shalom Aleinu, V'Kol Amo Yisrael, V'Al Yerushalayim. Please rise for Shamru, covenant of Shabbat. Shamru, B'nei Yisrael. Ki Shem Yamim Asa Adonai Et Hashamayim Ve'et Haaretz Ve'Shamru B'nei Yisrael Et Hashamayim Vaso Et Hashamayim Ve'Toros HaMerit Olam Uvayom HaShvi'i Shabbat Vayinafash Shabbat Vayinafash Shabbat Well, I'm going to make him come up. Sorry. Adi, you're going to come up with your brothers, Aaron and Amit, to help them with the Chatzi Kaddish. It's harder because he's the, he's the oldest, so he may remember. But here we go. So page 35.
Yikada, Yikada, Shemei Rabbah, Amen, Yamad, Yivrak, Yivtev, Yamlech, Malchutev, B'Hayevo, Yomecha, Ufayedecho Ben Yisrael, Bagala, Bagala, Uvizman Kari, V'Imru, Amen, Yehei Shmei Rabbah, Mevorah, Shabbat v'bahar v'ram v'naseh v'tadar v'taleh v'talah shmei v'kishah v'richu le'elam v'kol birata v'shirata tu'shirata la'ne'eh v'chemata da'amiran v'yoma v'imru Amen.
Private Amidah, pages 37 through 48. Hoseh Shalom Birama. Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Ve'al Kol Yesh B'Tevel. Ve'inu. Amen. Yeah, la, 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 la. Jump right to Kaddish Shalem today, and it's on page 53. We'll invite the three Bornstein boys who are here. Amen. Yehei Shmeira Levorah Le'olam Le'olam Yibarach Yibarach V'yishtabach V'yipar V'yirunam V'yinaseh V'yitadar V'yitala V'yitala Shemei Kedusha B'rihu Le'am Mikol B'hata V'shirata Tushbahata V'ne'emata Damiram Be'alma V'yimerim Amen. Tikabal Sloton Ubaton Yechol B'Yisrael Kodam Avahon V'Yishmai V'yimerim Amen. Yehei Shmeira V'Yishmaya V'chayam Aleinu V'Kol Yisrael V'yimerim Amen. Hoseh Shalom Yirumam Hayaseh Shalom Aleinu V'Kol Yisrael V'yimerim Amen. Looking forward to so much more tomorrow. All right, so now comes the historical moment, which instead of sermon on Friday night, I read from our old files something that is interesting, that says something about a snapshot in time. But before I do that, and that'll be interesting, the other thing is also interesting, but not in a good way. We're also living through history. When we say we're living through history, like when I watched the Giants finally win the World Series in 2010, I felt like I was living history, and that's usually sent with a positive connotation. But the history we're living through right now is not positive in most ways, and we are living it right here in the East Bay. And I feel like I do have to say something about what happened at Dean Chemerinsky's house this week. He's the dean of the Berkeley Law School. He spoke on First Amendment rights here at this congregation a year and a half ago, something like that, or maybe 2 years ago, whatever it was. He spoke here. And for those who don't know, I want to start with the headline that was in the Chronicle today, which is just horrible, and in my opinion has no journalistic integrity whatsoever. UC Berkeley law professor physically confronts law student at backyard dinner. Right, that is the headline. I mean, it was truly shocking. So let me go back a second for those who don't know what I'm talking about. I know a lot of you do. So it started, and you can't really see this, but all week there was this sort of blood libelous picture of the dean, caricatured, Zionist Chem, that's Chemerinsky, stands for his last name, while Gaza starves. And he's shown holding a bloody knife and fork. And what was happening was that he was having 3 nights in a row of law students to his home for an informal dinner. It's something he's done for his entire time that he's been there. Although the only difference is the current third years didn't get their dinner because it was during the pandemic. So he's having the first years and the third years this year, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And there was a protest, but not outside his house, but from within his house. And a number of people stood up, and one of the protesters, a law student herself, stood up. She brought her own backpack with microphone and speaker and started accusing him of genocide and the like. He asked her several times to stop, and at that point, and this is a young law student, I assume she's in her 20s, at that point his almost 70-year-old wife tried to take the microphone away. And that's what they're calling the 70-year-old woman physically confronting the law student after the blood libels, after, as guests in their homes. There are no free speech rights in a home. You're allowed to move someone out of your house if they're not behaving, and so that's what happened. And just so you know, that one of the tweets that went out today, there should be Berkeley students willing to put some skin in the game and put on a bird dog heckling exhibit everywhere Chemerinsky goes until he resigns. Now is not the time to back down. The dean is threatening anyone that challenges him. There are those that have been putting their voices and bodies on the line for a while. If you're able and are looking to step up, now is the time. Turn the pressure up. This is, I mean, it is really unbelievable, except it's not unbelievable because we live in this area and we've seen similar things. And I share this one thing with you as I'm about to do something which is it feels a lot lighter. It was not light at the time, this controversy that I'll be talking about in just a second, but almost anything, I haven't had to give a lot of real sermons because of the amount of B'nai Mitzvah we have. And when I have, I've often talked about the situation in Israel or the anti-Semitism here. And I don't want to keep doing that, but it's hard, like almost any other thing that I want to talk about with Torah feels like too light for the moment. And it's a real conflict that I'm actually having. And yet I'm gonna try to do that anyway because, Torah is Torah and needs to be taught and learned from and enjoyed. So in any case, back to the controversy. As you know, if you've been coming Friday nights, what we've been doing is I've been going through the files in particular on the role of women as it relates to having an aliyah and a bat mitzvah. And I'm going through the letters, and then in a couple weeks, I'll actually tell you what I can piece together from what actually happened. I'm doing this sort of piece by piece just for fun and what conclusions we can draw from each piece. And if you've been here before, you know that we don't exactly know when some of this stuff really started from the files nor from the minutes, but I can piece much of it, not all of it, but much of it together. Now we begin tonight by looking at the plaque in the middle of the plaque underneath the reverse clock there. And there's one that says, I think it's the middle one. No, it's the, so it's the third row from the bottom, in the middle. In honor of our mother, with fond memories of our father, Sam Katzberg, their loving children. Okay, Sam Katzberg was an extremely important member of the congregation. At one time, maybe the chapel was even named for him, or the entryway, or one of those things. I don't know where it is anymore. But this is a letter written to Sam Katzberg in 1975 in July from Rabbi Eugene Wernick. Dear Sam, it is with great heaviness of heart that I write to you. The synagogue has decided by the overwhelming consent of our membership that women be granted full participation in all of our ritual observance. Okay, now, before I go on, you have to understand, Wernick was not against this. His heavy heart was for Sam, who was the leader of the group who really did not want to see women have aliyot and the like, and leading things in ritual. And anyway, so it's really something, and it's already 1975. Remember, there have been some sort of benot mitzvah, girls bat mitzvah since the 50s, but they were either on Friday night or Saturday afternoon, or we still don't know exactly. But anyway, so there have been stuff happening, but there weren't not regular participation in the regular service. Anyway, so this will mean that women will read from the Torah as well as have honors on the high holidays. A number of girls have been selected to read this Yom Kippur. I know of your objections to this procedure, and I respect the sincerity of your position. However, truly in this case, time and tide will wait for no man. I would appreciate, in light of the great love and appreciation I have for you, your cooperation in seeing that this policy be conducted in a dignified manner. No protests at my house for dinner, for instance. No objection, no matter how valid, can give validity to any action which would disturb the decorum and dignity of our services. So legitimately was worried about, shouting out, or at least walking out. Walking out happened several times, and it still happens. I can tell you, it still happens based on certain things I say. As always,
Not from a woman having an aliyah.
yeah, not from that, that's for sure. As always, with respect and admiration, affectionately, Eugene A. Warnick, Rabbi. Now, there's a couple addendums to this. Here's another letter written about 9 months later from Herman and Molly Hertz. I don't know if Herman was present or just on the board at the time, to Mrs. Helen Katzberg. And this will have shades of Chaye Sarah after the Akedah. Dear Helen, Molly and I enjoyed visiting with you when we went to see your children. It was heartwarming to both of us the way your sons and daughters-in-law have looked after you at the time that you needed them most. My family, as well as the members of Temple Beth Abraham, hope that the wonderful memories of your husband, a leader and co-founder of Temple Beth Abraham, will always be with you. We do hope that you will try to visit Beth Abraham as often as you possibly can. I am enclosing here with a letter that will be mailed out to some members of the congregation within a few days, and wish to assure you that Temple Beth Abraham and its members will do everything possible to memorialize this great man who has actually given his life for the synagogue that he helped found and to Jewishness that he lived for. Molly and I will visit you as soon as possible. With all our love, Herman and Molly. It killed him. Not really, but he died. He died 9 months later. Now, a final addendum to this, it's either his great-grandson or his grand-nephew, I'm not sure, whose name is Jesse Gabriel. He is the leader of the Jewish Legislative Caucus of the state of California. So, very interesting too. So,
Okay.
it all connects. All right. At this time, we're going to rise for the Kiddush, and we're going to invite, I guess, the four of you, right? So, Adi and Daniel and Aaron and Amit, because I don't see Nuka, I don't see the boys. They'll be here tomorrow.
They're coming in from Mexico tonight.
Grape juice. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei b'riyat haven. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzamanu v'shabbat kodsho v'ahavu v'ratzam infilanu zikaron l'ma'aseh v'reishit kihu yom tehilah L'mikra'ei kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, kivanu v'acharta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, ve'shabbat kodshcha, ve'ahava u'ratzon, infaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh Hashem. Amen. L'chaim, July. And if you are near children or anyone else you're comfortable blessing, I'm sorry you don't have three hands. Put your hands on their heads, and we say, Simcha Elohim, Nasha. Simechlim Kasari Rafael Leon, Yivarecha Adonai v'yishmorecha, V'yer Adonai v'nav elecha v'yichunecha, Yisrael Adonai v'nav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God bless you and keep you. May God's face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May God lift the divine face toward you and grant you peace. Amen. We remain standing for Elena. You guys can go back toward your seats though. As long as you do the dance first. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'teinu l'yotzer b'reishit, shelo asanu kiloyei haratzon, velo samanu k'mitzvot ha'adama, shelo samkelkeinu b'hem, velo roleinu k'chol ha'amonam, v'anachnu horim, u'misham Lifnei Melech, Malkei Hamachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shehu Notei Shamayim ve'yosei haaretz, U'moshe mikaro b'shamayim mima'am, U'shminatu zo, U'shminatu zo, ve'yamei meromim, U'eloheinu, Eloheinu, Emet Malkeinu, Efes Zulato, Kakatu, V'Torato, V'Atayom, V'Hashirotam, Elavakecha, Ki Adonai Ruach Elohim, B'Shamayim B'Ma'am, Ve'al ha'aretz, Ve'al ha'aretz, Mitah, Eino. Tu b'tor techanaim loch ve'olam va'ed ve'ne'emar v'chayil Adonai le'melech ha'kol ha'aretz v'yom hahu v'yesh Adonai echad u'shemo may be seated as we lovingly recall the memory of our departed relatives and friends whose yahrzeits we observed during the coming week, thinking especially tonight of Irving Barish, Betty Berkovich, Jenny Berkovich, H. Andre Blau, Nathan Blumstein, Vernon Albert Bonar, Hilda Brodke, Pearl Brodke, Dolores Kane, Samuel DeVoren, Bernie DeKoven, James Abe Dixon, Herman Eckhouse, Richard Fickus, Stuart Gelman, Grace Gill, Ada Gillick, Sarah Gordon, Rose Gottesman, Blanche Grosskopf, Martha Harris, Herman Hertz, whose letter we read tonight, Anna Hoffman, Jocelyn Holton, Herbert Jacobs, Samuel Jarmolowski, Alex Kessler, Israel Kurtz, Ann Levitt, Alan Lee Lipsett, Leo Lorber, Elliot Nankin, Shirley Pearl, Samuel Peters, Viet Pham, Kevin Romero, Rebecca Rubin, Samuel Schneiderman, Paula Silver, Mary Weiss. And in recent days, we mourn the passing of Kikumi Satomi, the mother of Satomo Satomi, who was the husband of Hildy Spritzer. Memories of all of them are with us. We ask all those who are in mourning or observing Yortzeit, as well as anyone else who would choose to do so, to rise for the Kaddish at this time. It's on page 61. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah Amen. V'yalmad yivrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael b'galav v'izman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mivorach le'olam olmei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh Vitadar, Vitale, Vitalal, Shemeda Kudasha, Marichu, Le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata, Damiran v'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba min Shemaya, V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. Osei Shalom v'rama, Uyasei Shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. May the memory of the people you've come to St. House will be a blessing to you always. Amen. All right, announcements. Tomorrow, well, there's Challah in the back immediately after. Secondly, tomorrow, services 9:30. Aaron and Amit Bornstein become B'nai Mitzvah, and they're going to combine in interesting ways, and so you'll see splitting the Haftarah, one doing the blessing before, one after, one doing Torah service, one doing Musaf service. So anyway, we're looking forward to a lot of fun, and I know I will repeat this tomorrow just because I'm just so excited about it. This is the first time in my rabbinic history that I get to do 5 kids from one family officiating at the name. There were 5 kids in the Karazi family, but they didn't come here until after the first one had already had a bar mitzvah. So This is the record. There's been some 4-packs.
Mine was 3.
The Rosses, the Shackers, there's a lot of 3s. So. Anyway, enough of that. We have some exciting things going on. There's book club on Tuesday night. The book is Daniel Gordis' Israel, A Concise History of a Nation Reborn. Contact Judy Glick for details. Thursday, April 18th, WTBA Girls Night Out, Parting the Red Sea line dancing, 7 p.m. in the social hall. Can men? I don't know if men are welcome to come.
Wondered.
I just don't know.
Okay.
Sorry, you don't know. Do you, right? Okay. So we don't know. And then no mahjong tomorrow.
No.
Okay. Next Saturday, there's a baby naming. Jessica and Ben Quay baby's like 6 months now, but very exciting. So we'll have that next Saturday. I want to thank Drew Kessler for greeting. I want to thank Josh Mailman for setting up our stream. And now, I know we've got people from Israel. We've got people from Cleveland. Anywhere else coming out of town? Denver, excellent.
Singapore,
Baltimore,
Singapore, Australia.
Singapore, Australia, Brooklyn,
Cincinnati.
yeah, Cincinnati.
All over.
Love it.
Pittsburgh, California.
Pittsburgh, yeah, that's sort of far, but not bad.
Everyone.
All right, well, welcome to all of you. Great to have you here. And thanks for joining in this incredible Simcha with us. All right, the other thing that's always strange to those who are not regulars is we honor a musician who has died in the past week. And this is a little obscure, but not really. The guy who died this week is named Michael Ward, who was the guitar player in the band The Wallflowers, whose lead singer, Jacob Dylan, is Jewish. They had a couple hits in the 90s. They're a very 90s band. Now, this song, there's a lot of references to death in it in cemeteries, but it turns out that they're actually talking about the death of ideas. And that's what he's mourning. And so even though you may think of it as a silly song, it's a very serious song about the death of ideas, like civilized society, for instance. We're seeing dying, or at least temporarily dying. Hopefully it'll be revived in our midst right now. And then the end, the key line, despite all this, we can still get there even if we only have one headlight. That's why the song is called One Headlight. That's the idea, that even with all this, we're gonna still try. There's still some reason for optimism. It may be a little more difficult. So how many know this song, One Headlight? Raise your hand, okay. Where's all my 90s kids? I mean, because it's really a 90s song. I shouldn't even know, but.
It's a missing generation in this room.
I know, it's not true.
People might not know the title, they might recognize it.
It's possible, but.
I never knew the title until recently.
So long ago, I don't remember then. That's when they say I lost my only friend. Well, they said she died easy of a broken heart disease as I listened through the cemetery trees. Sun coming up at the funeral at dawn, the long broken arm of human law. Now it always seemed such a waste, she always had a pretty face. I wondered how she hung around this place. Hey, come on, try a little, nothing is forever. Got to be something better than in the middle. Me and Cinderella, put it all together, we can drive it home with one headlight. Familiar? Anybody else? Yeah. Okay, a few people. She said it's cold, it feels like Independence Day, and I can't break away from this parade. But there's gotta be an opening somewhere here in front of me through this maze of ugliness and green. And I see the sun up ahead at the county line bridge saying all there's good and nothingness is dead. We'll run until she's out of breath. She ran until there's nothing left. She hit the end, it's just her window ledge. hey. Come on, try a little. Nothing is forever. Got to be something better than in the middle. Me and Cinderella, we put it all together. We can drive it home. With what headlight? Well, this place is all it feels like, just a beat-up truck. I turn the engine, but the engine doesn't turn. Well, it smells of cheap wine and cigarettes. This place is always such a mess. Sometimes I think I'd like to watch it burn. I'm so alone and I feel just like somebody else. Man, I ain't changed, but I know I ain't the same. But somewhere here in between the city walls of dying dreams I think are death, it must be killing me. Try a little, nothing is forever. Got to be something better than in the middle. Me and Cinderella, we put it all together. We can drive it home. With what headlight? What headlight? Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
That's pretty tall.